Good morning and welcome to Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. This is Christmas time, a week more, and you'll be celebrating Christmas. And the Christmas star, the nativity star, is an important part of this celebration. And incidentally, this year, 2020, has been the lousiest year in the living history. But look at the happy coincidence. This year is going to end with an offering of a heavenly wonder, a Christmas star. And the reality of the Christmas star, which is mostly in the tradition, has been established, and you will see this Christmas star just 4 days before Christmas. December 25 is Christmas, and you can see the star on December 21. Means that's going to happen? No. This is an alignment of two planets, Jupiter and Saturn. Normally it happens every 20 years, but it has never happened in December recently. Last time it happened, it was 800 years back, Middle Ages. And after 800 years, 8 centuries, Jupiter and Saturn are once again going to be perfectly aligned. Technically, these two planets are hundreds of miles apart. Sorry, hundreds of millions miles apart. But from our terra firma, from our Earth, on December 21, it will look as if they are nearly touching, creating a radiant point of the light, as you can call it the Star of Bethlehem, the Star of Christianity, for obvious reasons. Incidentally, you are aware that December 21 is also the winter solstice, the longest night of the year, and the tipping point when the days start getting longer. So the light would be more. Maybe this Christmas star's reappearance is a sign of hope, maybe symbolism. I'm not going into spirituality, the page out of the Bible telling of unusual star that led the wise men to baby Jesus. As a matter of fact, astronomers have long theorized that nativity star was really a conjunction of three stars: Jupiter, Venus, and another bright star called Regulus, which occurred around 2 BC, 2 years before Christ. So, 2 years before Christ and Christ is not much of a difference in the past history. So, quite possible, as Mason, one of the great astronomers, says, that it was really an alignment of these stars, Jupiter, Venus, and Regulus. And now we are going to have the second one. And the last time humans were able to see Jupiter and Saturn aligned the way they are going to align on December 21 was in 1226. And the astronomers also believe that the same phenomena would be repeated in 2080, but not in December, it will be in March. So maybe the long, lousy year, which has been a dark tunnel, ends with light at the end of the tunnel, the heavenly star that herald the birth of Christ. And here it comes, 4 days before Christmas. Merry Christmas, of course, right now. So this was quite an addition to our knowledge. And now looking at the human brain, do you know that the brain looks exactly like the universe? According to the doctors, your brain is made a complex network of nearly 100 billion neurons that form 100 trillion neural networks. And if you take a picture of that, it resembles the cosmic web of galaxies. It's quite uncanny. These neurons make up less than 20% mass of your brain, leaving 75% for water. And your earth is 75% water. It's a bizarre coincidence that if we have got 100 billion neurons, the universe has got 100 billion galaxies. So the teetering balance between the pull of gravity and the expansion of the universe forms a cosmic web of string like filaments, which is composed of the dark matter. But despite these similarities, the scientists are using a technique often deployed by astrophysicists to study the large scale distribution of galaxies. And the analysis shows the distribution of fluctuations with the brain network on a scale of 1 micrometer to zero point 0.1 millimeter follows the same progression as happens in the universe that goes from 5 million to 500 million light years. Absolutely weird, uncanny that the brain of any human being is just a replica, a miniature replica of the whole galaxy. Are you not excited or amazed? I am. And then speed, speed, speed. We had bullock cars, we wanted bicycles. We had bicycles, we wanted scooters. We had scooters, we wanted cars. We had cars, we wanted aeroplanes. We had aeroplanes and the trains and the cars, and we wanted Leviathan mode of transportation. And now comes a scramjet. It's called sodium jet, and it can reach anywhere in the world in just 2 hours. It's an experimental engine, and it can meet the speed is Mach 16. The base, it will leverage sonic booms. It's Chinese invention that can help you reach anywhere in the world in just 2 hours. But basically, 40 years back, this idea was given by the Americans. And the Chinese just took up the idea, worked on it, and they have come with sodium jet. Sodium stands for standing oblique detonation ramjet engine. It uses reusable trans-atmospheric planes. So you can take horizontally from the airport runway, accelerate into the orbit around the Earth, re-enter the atmosphere, and finally land an airport. And when I read this in the Chinese Journal of Aeronautics, I was absolutely overwhelmed. And it is the latest bleeding edge of a completely different case. The ramjet led to scramjet, which was designed to go as much as 15 times the speed of sound. And what's a base? It is in secret dropping a great deal of weight from the craft. So what a scramjet does? It scoops up the oxygen from the air. It has no fuel tank, so it just takes up oxygen from the air and uses that as a fuel. That means a very fragile cycle of combustion, and that can be whooped from the very sonic boom the engine creates. So it's a self-creating sort of thing. And imagination boggles that you can reach any nook and corner of the world in just less than 120 minutes. And now, are you aware that there is a forgotten machine? History, and as a matter of fact, if you look at the history of the machines being made, this is the greatest machine that was ever built about 1800 years before the start of industrial revolution. 62 AD, just 62 years after Christ. The Roman cultural capital was Alexandria. This is in Egypt now, and it was the tide pool of the new religions. The Roman Empire was approaching the historical high water mark, and the total area of the empire was 2.2 square miles. And at that time, Hiron built Aleuspine, and that machine is nothing but the world's first steam engine. We give credence to the modern scientists, Stevenson and others. But the first world steam engine was manufactured 62 AD in Roman Empire in Alexandria. And we have forgotten that. And it's one of the greatest machines ever made because that is the base of all industrial revolution later on. And before we end, are you aware that in the north there is Alaska, where last time I told you in one village, the sun set in November and it will come back January 23. But there is an island in Alaska, it's a chain of islands. And underneath those islands, there's a giant volcano. The whole thing is disguised as a group of small volcanic islands. They are called Aleutian Islands. It, there are 6 islands: Carlis, Cleveland, Herbert, Cagmil, Tana, Urek. And beauties of all islands are connected with vents. So one vent of the volcanic lava and ash goes to the second to the third to the fourth. So these actually, according to the scientists, there's a huge volcanic mountain underwater, and the vents are going from that in these 6 islands. This is the first entirely submerged volcano in Alaskan islands. And together they are known as Island of Four Mountains. They are also connected by a calendra, which is multiple vents. And this new discovery was presented on December 7th at the American Geophysical Union, and it creates a fear. Amazement, of course, is there that, like a candle holder, like menorah, there are six islands, rather four islands, not six, with vents in each one of them. And the fear is, suppose this all volcanic erupts, what devastation would result from there? The devastating result of that volcanic eruption might be too difficult for us even to imagine. But that's what the word is. And each discovery, each invention keeps on enhancing our frontiers of knowledge and makes us say, if nothing else, at least wow and repeat like Miranda in The Tempest, Shakespeare's Tempest. Wow, a brave new word. And every time we see it, we find a brave new word. Each discovery, each invention, each gem and nugget of knowledge adds to that feeling of wonder and awe. So see you next time with the new nuggets. Next week, same time. Thank you.